Using the daily menu for menu planning. In this section, we're going to talk about some of the features in the daily menu that have to deal with menu planning. Number one is the search button. This is an alpha lookup search feature. The more letters you type in, the more or narrow the search will become. For example, if we want to search for, let's say, carrots, and we type in the C-A-R-R, you can see it starts to narrow it down. And in this example, we're going to pick peas and carrots. We're going to go ahead and say that we're going to add these to the menu. But again, in this example, rather than add them as a half a cup, we're going to say we're going to add them as 4 ounces. So when we hit the add button, you will see the peas and carrots come here as 4 ounces. Now at this point in time, we may look up here and decide that we can afford to take away the California blend vegetables. As I'm deleting this, watch the fruit and vegetable number change. Now I am still within my range for the meal requirements, and I'm going to click and drag the peas and carrots up. This same procedure can be done for all the different food items or meals that you want to do. It's an alpha lookup. Down below here, I want to review the menu view actually. You will see, as I noted before, that you will see 3 days before and 3 days after. However, you see the blue copy feature right here. This allows the user to select any of the meals prior or any of the meals after it and copy it in there. So for this example, we're going to say we want to copy the turkey primavera into the lunch. One thing to remember, this is a copy function. So at some point in time, I will have to re-enter this menu over to the Tuesday lunch. But let's review this feature real quick. As you can see, I hit the copy button, and the turkey primavera actually, came to Sunday. And you can see it's still over here. So that is how the copy feature works. Any of these 3 breakfasts can be copied into this breakfast. Any of these 3 lunches, before or after, can be copied into lunch. This feature is good when you're planning a menu and you want to get your basic master done. You can copy over certain things like choice of milk or dinner roll or choice of cereal or juice of choice, things that occur frequently, and it should be there to save you some time. So just to review some of the basic features, this is an alpha lookup for searching for food items. You hit add here. If you want the item to show up but not be counted in the scoreboard, and let's just say, for example, we want to offer French toast also, when we do this, if we hit the alternate, this will not affect the scoreboard. So we're going to select the word alternate, and you will see the scoreboard does not change, and French toast is down here in italics. The italics is meant to indicate that it is an alternate item and not part of the regular meal. Also up here, finally, we will go over add a food item. From time to time, you're going to find that certain items are not in the database. After you've exhausted all different combinations of words and means to find it, you may be forced with the possibility that you may have to add a food item. This is a quick way to add a food item to the program. So for this example, we'll just use the word wheat bread. Remember, however you type it in there is how it will display. So we're going to capitalize the wheat. The default portion is 1. And we're going to say, for this example, it's a slice. It is 1 bread and grain and 1 carbohydrate. There is nothing it needs to be prepped with it, and nothing it needs to be frozen or freezer pools. And also, we do not need a recipe for it. We're going to hit save. And now we've added wheat bread to our database. One of the things to note when you add items to your database, they are not going to be approved for the diets that you offer. So let's go ahead and add this wheat bread and show you what happens when you add an item that the system doesn't recognize. So what happens is it wants you to answer these one-time questions. Can the renal diet get it? Can the low-fat, low-cholesterol get it? And can the mechanical soft? Once you answer those questions, the food item will get added to your menu for that day. The next time you use the wheat bread, however, those questions will not come up. This is the way that you make sure your diets are approved for the different diets you offer. Up here, you will see menu has not been approved. That is specifically for the registered dietitian. That is a way, like we reviewed before, in Customize Your Community, you put a signature or a name in the Customize Your Community, and when they hit the button, this will give an electronic stamp to the menu when it's printed off in the reports. Remember, in Customize Your Community, we reviewed where the dietitian would put their name. And although you can't see it in this example, the dietitian will be set up in the community as what's called an approver. That means they are the person who is designated in approving the menu. This approved menu, red italics or approved menu, saying the menu has not been approved, will show up anytime you make a menu change. And your dietitian should make sure that she does review the changes. This button without approval simply means that when food items are added to the database and do not have diet approvals specific, like we showed in the example, it will not show up, and it will allow you to bypass that and add directly to the menu. However, that is not a recommended practice and really used for advanced levels. Remember the question mark. If you hit this, it will give you information on the menu manager and the different features, what they do if you forget. We also talk about how to add a food item, approving for different diets, and how to make sure your menu is balanced.